I would ask take about 15 more seconds. Designate a spokesperson for your team.
Greater than or equal to our life.
All right, let's come back together. Can we have the employee engagement team share, so read your goal, and then if you don't mind, tell us which part of the goal matches up with each of our 5 SMART components.
Okay. Our goal is increase our average CI employee engagement survey score from a 6 to an 8 by January 1st, 2021. And so then the S part is mainly around like the CI employee. That's the group we're trying to focus on. The M measurable is the 6.0 to an 8.0. The actionable is the increasing the average, kind of that's the actionable part. And then realistic, thank you. Realistic from a 6 to an 8. We don't think we can actually jump up to a 10, but we thought we could get closer to moving in that direction. And then time bound is by January 1st, 2021.
Okay. Any thoughts on that? Is it smart? It is absolutely smart. Great. Decrease workplace violence. Someone want to share?
Yeah, so starting February 20th, we are going to begin training all staff so that by the end of the year, we started with October, then we thought there's no way, so we wanted to be more realistic. So we went with the end of the year. We're going to train greater than or equal to 90% of the staff on workplace violence procedures. So it's specific because we're saying more than 90%. It's measurable because we give time limits to the training and the amount of people we're going to train. It's achievable because we've got plenty of time to do it. It's relevant because it's related to the goal that we're trying to address, and it's time bound, so we have that one.
Great job. And patient satisfaction?
We didn't get all the way through it.
Oh, that's okay.
We didn't do the hard part, the actionable part. So we wanted to increase CGCAP's provider recommendation percentage from 90 to 95% by 2021.
Okay.
But how we were actually going to action upon that didn't get up there yet.
It's okay. What makes it specific?
Exactly what we're trying to focus on.
Yep. Very clear. And measurable?
The percentage in which
Yep.
we're trying to
Exactly
accomplish.
right. And reasonable, realistic, timed. That's great. All right, thank you. Come back to our seats.
Good job.
What's it like sticking
Myself, I'm walking very purposefully. Yeah.
So now we've talked about SMART goals. We know what makes a good goal. We know what makes a good outcome metric. We're going to spend a few more minutes on really highlighting the difference between an outcome metric and an action metric. We've been talking about weight loss as we introduced our SMART goals, so we'll kind of stick with that example. If I have chosen, right, to lose weight, how can I measure it? How can I measure my weight? By pounds. Okay, absolutely. Is measuring my weight in pounds. So I'm going to do Weight Watchers and I'm going to go every week. I'm going to measure my weight in pounds. Do we think that's an outcome metric or an action metric?
Outcome.
It's an outcome metric, right? As all the reasons that we've said, I'm measuring that on some cadence, right? This happens to be weekly at Weight Watchers, and it's an outcome, right? It is a result of all of the actions that I took that week that I'm measuring once weekly. All of the actions, right, that I took that week that impact my weight, what might those be?
Healthy.
I ate healthy.
Exercise.
I exercised. Probably the two big ones. Maybe think of more. I had a bariatric surgery. Right? I did something that week. Right? I did an action that week that impacted my outcome. So when we focus back to performance boards, what we measure at that second level are the actions. Right? Of course I want to know what I weigh. Right? That's my goal. But that doesn't give me a strategy necessarily. It doesn't give me a roadmap. It doesn't tell me in the moment, day to day, whether I'm successful or not. Right? I can certainly weigh myself every day. But again, if I'm not taking action and I'm not measuring that action, I'm probably not going to lose weight. So when we think about our performance boards, and we think about personal, professional goals, we set not just outcome goals, but we set action goals. And we want our team focused every day on action goals. Part of catchball, right, part of the process in which we role played earlier, is determining what actions can we take to determine our outcomes or to meet our goal. Right? And then we put those on our performance boards. Are there any questions about action versus outcome goals? You'll hear them called lagging, leading. It's the same concept of lagging as something, again, I might look at quarterly, monthly, weekly. A leading is something I can look at every day, every hour, every shift, and to determine where I am in progress to my outcome goal.
What do we call the measurements that we see that were like historical data that I've seen on boards before?
So if it's true historical data, it might be on there as like a benchmark or a reference. Absolutely.
Benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could also, you could also call it a lagging. It might be a severe lagging, but I think a lot of times you'll see, and it's great to point out because sometimes you will see on boards, well, here's how we did last year. And it's really just a reference or a benchmark. It's not necessarily, our goal for 2020, but it's helpful to know for the team to have on the board. It's a great question.
Yeah, I think there were a number of those at St. Mary's Madison because they were just starting
Yes.
the work.
Yes.
And I would guess that's true for a lot of our ministries.
Yes. And a lot of teams want to know. It helps them determine if we're sort of being successful or not. Are we doing better in 2020 than we were in 2019? Not just month over month, but year over year. So I think any kind of reference data, if people on your team want to see it, you can find a way to put it up there for them.
And that's true for the 2025 stuff, that's still lagging as well because we're daily action to get.
Absolutely. The system KPIs are lagging. They're measured monthly, and our goals for them are typically annually. So we set a goal for the year that we measure monthly, and then we are doing actions to meet that outcome. We're going to try to build a performance board together. And you're going to have the top components. You're going to have the pillars, and you're going to have the KPIs. What we're going to work on, right, is determining the difference between an outcome and an action metric, and then under which KPI they might fall. So Dina has them. In order to not maybe get up and reshuffle, we have 6, correct, Dina?
6.
Okay, let's work in teams of 3 to start. So I'll have Heidi, Mike, and Brian work on a board here. I'll have Aaron, Eric, and Alyssa. Is there someone's name?
Yeah,
Okay, work on a board here. I'll have Tiffany, Emily, and Kristen work on a board here. And Sandra, Kathleen, Melissa, we're on a board. So what you have then, you can open them up. The instructions are up behind me. Right, it is a basic matching game. So you have some outcome and action metrics.
Look at my definition.
So this is stating.
Think through under what KPI and pillars you might find them and in what order they should go. I'll give you about 5 minutes.
So.
It's gonna be the first group done.
From 25% to 35%. So it's not income, it is, like, enrollment would be.
So this,
It goes higher.
yep.
Increase our phone calls to small businesses. Some full call.
Five-star rating.
Yeah.
Five-star, so this is the rating.
You're missing part.
We're supposed to have them.
I didn't read.
Let's get,
Oh, this is
because this five-star rating is like.
Okay, thank you.
Over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're done.
I feel like they did.
Man.
That's this one.
Okay, yep.
Got the all-stars, maybe we don't need 5 minutes.
Action for this one, ask patient.
Forming. No, it's just. We're not doing anything like this. Isn't an action thing. Or this. You know, like if you're asking at the end of the visit, you're not.
I feel like
For the visit.
You got them all wrong.
I think these two. I like this issue.
Where are you from, Ruth? Yep.
You must just not have a mask on.
Because I just read the part.
Yeah.
Keep up.
Oh, I guess you meant both.
I'm original.
It doesn't really matter.
I moved up here. My wife's from.
Right? Check it, Scott. Right? I think that's it.
What was it? Hamilton?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to keep right now.
All right.
Some of our
Order,
Texas.
I see. I can hear robust discussion.
Oh, yeah.
For the sake of time, we're going to come back together. Okay. The hint here that I'm going to be meaning to tell you after you've done the activity is that it's tricky, right? There's conversation to be had around a couple of these that every group was having, which is great. But does some team want to share what they do connectivity and culture first? Right, so we won't go in order. We're going to connectivity and culture. Would a group like to share? Mike?
So for the outcome indicator under connectivity and culture, it was decreased department turnover from 11% to 5% by the end of the year. And the action indicator was increased kudo cards per day from 0 to 12.
Spot on. Never had that? Okay. Oh, is it, you're questioning whether it's realistic? Would someone else like to go through growth and partnership? Who would like to go through growth and partnership?
Increase Dean Health Plan enrollment from 25
25 to 35% by the end of the year.
Okay,
That would be our lagging, and then our leading would be increased number of cold calls, which are outgoing calls, to small business owners from 20 per day to 40 per day.
right on. Everyone have that? All right, who would like to be bold and do the exceptional performance? Our 5-star rating.
We will.
All right, I was like, I know your names.
Alright.
Just kidding.
Increased department patient likelihood to recommend from 65% to 80% by the end of the year is our outcome. And then respond to nurse call button within 4 minutes.
Absolutely works in that spot.
Yeah.
We'd like to do transformation.
That makes sense. We had it the other way.
No, this is good. You all identified the metrics that are similar, right? So who would like to go through transformation?
We can.
Yep.
Instead, let's see, the outcome is, we put increased department patient likelihood to recommend from 65 to 80% by the end of the year. And then the action is ask every patient if there's, quote, anything else I can do at the end of each patient encounter.
Yep. Okay. So we have action metrics, right? Things that our team can do, right? We can respond to call outs within 4 minutes, right? We can ask patients if there's anything else I can do. We can increase our kudos and we can increase our cold calls. And these are all things that we can do that are contributing to an outcome metric, contributing to a KPI, aligning to utility. Any questions about kind of how to build these boards, metrics in general? Okay. We are near the conclusion, so we are going to begin a wrap-up.